1 year ago, the businesses in Grand Isle, Louisiana were getting ready for the big Memorial Day weekend, start of that season. The barrier island on the coast was a hot tourist destination, but that all fell apart as tar balls began washing up on the beaches and vacationers canceled reservations at hotels, restaurants, and charter fishing boats. Grand Isle is part of Jefferson Parish, and joining me by phone is Parish President John Young, Jr. He's visiting Grand Isle today to mark the 1-year anniversary of the spill. Mr. Young, welcome to Bloomberg's Bottom Line. Thanks for taking the time today.
Good to be with you, Mark. Thank you for having me.
Mr. Young, it's been a year. How's your community doing?
Well, you know, it's been a long year. We've made a lot of progress, Mark, but there's a lot of work that still needs to be done. But the people here on Grand Island, indeed, in South Louisiana, are very resilient people. As you know, we've been through 4 major hurricanes and now one of the worst oil disasters in U.S. history. Their spirits are up. We're open for business. We still have a lot of work, as I said, to do in turning the corner and cleaning up the oil in some of the marsh islands. But we're open for business. It's a beautiful day down here. I can tell you that the seafood down here is still the best tasting in the world, and now it's the safest because it's been the most tested seafood in the world, and we're having fried shrimp down here as we speak.
Mr. Young, Ken Feinberg was on earlier today on Bloomberg, and he was speaking to my colleague Lizzie O'Leary in Washington. He said that 857,000 claims have been filed, nearly $4 billion in claims paid out. He says his fund has gone through about 75% of the claims. Are those figures accurate as far as you're concerned?
Well, I can't. I've met with Mr. Feinberg. He came down at my request, and he's a fine man, but I can tell you that that's not the response I'm getting from the citizens down here in Grand Isle. When he came down several months ago, I suggested to him that he should start with the zip codes closest to the spill.
Why is that?
Grand Isle, Lafitte. He talks about how he's paid in 50 states. We still have businesses down here, Mark, who have not been paid a penny. And then we also have bartenders, strippers, massage therapists, you know, and manicurists who've been paid in the French Quarter in quick payments. And my complaint and my argument is the process hasn't been transparent. People are filing claims and not getting paid and not getting told why they're not being paid.
Mr. Young, if I might add, do you believe, or at least are you hearing from the folks down there, that they feel they've been adequately compensated?
No. They have not been adequately compensated. Again, you know, not only the Gulf Coast Claims Facility has been inept in its delivery of payments, but also BP, you know, takes out ads in the local newspapers and said they're going to make it right, and they haven't made it right yet. And again, these people aren't looking for a handout, Mark. They want to get back to work. We're talking about 4th, 5th generation fishermen, shrimpers, oystermen. And they just want to go back to work.
Mr. Young, if I might ask, in our last minute, in an earlier broadcast interview today, Mr. Feinberg did say that it's reasonable to assume that the Gulf Coast will be restored by the end of 2012. I was wondering if I could get your comments on that assessment.
I think that is too optimistic. Certainly, I'd love to see that come to fruition, but I think this is a marathon, not a sprint, and I think we're looking at 5 to 10 years. To full recovery. And again, what I want to focus on is the nation's attention that this is not just a Louisiana issue, this is a national issue. We produce 30% of the fisheries consumed in the United States and 30 to 35% of the oil and natural gas consumed in the United States. So these are America's wetlands, and we need to turn this negative into a positive and rebuild our coastline, bays, wetlands, and estuaries. And I think this is going to be a longer process in 2012.
John Young, Jr., the president of Jefferson Parish, joining us by phone. Mr. Young, thanks so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mark, very much. Have a great day.
You too.